Hello, good about SM viewers. This is Satellite Media. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Let us look at this issue involving Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that before now, Justice Omotosho made it very clear that he was going to conduct a trial within trial after Nnamdi Kanu complained that his statements were taken from him without the presence of his lawyer, after he equally complained that he was kept in an underground prison, in a dungeon, and all of that. But let me quickly read from the Vanguard newspaper. It says, court rejects federal government's evidence against Nnamdi Kanu. He goes further to say that the Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday rejected the evidence sought to be tendered by the federal government in the ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. He goes further to say that Justice James Omotosho, in a ruling, agreed with the argument of the defense counsel, Paul Rokoro San, that the Supreme Court had ruled that in extracting an extrajudicial statement from a suspect, the presence of his lawyer is mandatory. And I think what is important here is that Nnamdi Kanu himself, in the video recording that the DSS sought to tender, repeatedly mentioned that they were taking a statement without the presence of his lawyer. I think the judge laid much emphasis on that. He goes further to say that Justice Omotosho heard that though a provision of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 used the word may to mean that the presence of a lawyer to a suspect is not a must while making a statement, he could not close his eyes to the apex court's decision. Because according to the judge, there are so many decisions of Supreme Court where the Supreme Court have ruled that in taking evidence of a suspect in this nature, that it is mandatory that his lawyer must be present. And I think what is important in that whole of issue has to do with Nnamdi Kanu himself maintaining repeatedly in the course of that interrogation, according to information coming from the court, that they were doing all of this without his lawyer. And again, I think the judge have ruled on this, and the trial within trial have been laid to rest. It goes to show that the judge, or rather the court, did not admit those evidence on the basis that Supreme Court have ruled in the past severally that you need the presence of one's lawyer to extract such evidence or rather statement from him. And at this point, let us go and get a reaction from Nigerians on the street to know what they are saying about this. Thank you very much. Hello, good about SVS. This is Satellite Media. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Evangelist Ben, the Biafra evangelist. Remember that the other day, Justice Omotosho stood down Nnamdi Kanu's case to make sure that he conduct trial within trial. Because Nnamdi Kanu made it emphatically clear that they interrogated him in the absence of his lawyer. And again, that he was kept in a dungeon, in an underground cell. And that the 1 hour allowed for him to go and refresh himself, that they were not giving him. But in the ruling, Justice Omotosho ruled that they will not admit that evidence because the Supreme Court have ruled severally that if you want to interrogate somebody, it must be in the presence of his lawyer. This is another area of victory for Nnamdi Kanu, if I may ask you.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching us from. I remember humble sir, one and the only Biafran evangelist, Benjamin Johnson. This is not a trial for trial.
Trial within trial.
Trial within trial is another language from another judge in the court of the law in Nigeria. Every day English they come outside. Trial within trial. I give God the glory. God Almighty, praise be to his name. Because so far so good, Nnamdi Kanu is giving Nigeria 2-0 within the space of few days under the watch of Omotosho, because you can see what really happened yesterday in the court, that the witness, the third witness, who was absent who was absent in the previous sitting, was present yesterday, day before yesterday. Then it was yesterday they officially unveiled the whole thing. But when I began to watch the scene, I discovered that this man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, made a statement and said the person that tried him, that interrogated him, his name was Mr. Brown. And when they asked Mr. BB, I don't know what is the meaning of BB. You understand? But he said his name was BB. And when the interrogator asked Mr. BB, Mr. BB said nobody bearing that name Brown among them. And I was like, what is this man don't really know who he was, dealing with.
So what stand out in that thing is that even in the video evidence that the court rejected, Nnamdi Kanu was heard saying that you are doing this in the absence of my lawyer. And of course, that was the basis for which the judge said it would not be admissible in the court. Because according to the judge, there are so many judgments of Supreme Court that says if you want to interrogate someone, his lawyer must be there. Mandatory.
That is the issue. And the workplace, they only, capture Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which everything that he said, he did not, say deny it. He agreed that he made those statements. Even with what he wrote down and signed, he said yes. He did all this. He didn't deny it. But there was a condition at which he did it. And what was that condition? That condition was a duress condition. And you know what duress is all about? Duress is you force somebody to go against his will. And duress is another thing that, either you live or you die. So choose one. You must dance to my tune to live, or you dance to your own tune and visit your Baba God before your time. That is the meaning of duress. If you actually want to analyze it and to break it down, that is all about duress. And for the young man, to still stay alive in order to pursue his aim, in order to pursue the goal, in order to pursue the dream and to achieve it, he has to play, to be wise. Bible says we should be wise, as serpent and become as dove. So he has to play with wisdom, along with them, in order for him to still remain alive in the land of the living, then continue. A hero that doesn't die in the war, he fights to remain in order to continue another day. That is a military terms.
So Nnamdi is a hero.
He's a hero. He fights and remain in order to continue. And that was why he admitted under duress, whatsoever condition they gave to him, he abided by it.
Because that is temporary. There will be a time to say, this is what happened.
Yes, now, because he knows that time will come whereby he will stand up to defend himself and to express himself and to let the whole world what he has gone through that is against the law, or the treatment that they have given to him that don't supposed to, because fighting for freedom and standing to defend your land is not a criminal case. It's not a case. It is normal thing, the right thing a man have to do. So that was why he be and he condole with them and agree with them, and he do what? He play along with them. That was what happened yesterday. He made it clearly. And funny enough, in that video, did you see any clip of the interrogator in the video? No. You're only hearing, seeing, watching Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he said, yes, all these things, I admit I said it, I admit I wrote them, I admit that I signed, but it was under a condition. And that condition was a condition that is unbearable for me. So I have to do what? To dance in order to live again.
Okay, now let us take attention to today, 30th of May. Of course, you understand that it's always Biafra Remembrance Day. But before today, we saw the Office of the National Security Advisor saying that because of the security arrangement and achievement of this current government, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that the issue of sit at home is dying down, that no one will likely sit at home come Biafra Day. But what is your take and what will be feeling in the southeastern part of the country? Will there be sit at home to honor Biafra fallen heroes?
My brother, don't say will there be. There is already sit at home. The people in the whole southeast are already sitting at home. Baba, if you have data, check all the roads in the whole southeast. Everybody is sitting at home today. You are not the one to tell us what to do. We are the one to decide what to do. Do you understand? If not that Nigeria is a country whereby the law is not being followed. You know, they say the democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But in Nigeria, it is a government of one person, ruled by one person, controlled by one person, managed by one person, dictated by one person. That is Nigerian democracy, not according to the other way around. And let me tell you, we in Biafra land, and we in Biafrans follows the law of what? Democracy, as democracy should be, and how it's supposed to be, and the way it should go. It is the government of the people, and we are the government. Do you understand? So we decide how we run our things in our place. So Sanusi or Ribadu, I don't know which of them, that say that Tinubu have performed well. In which way has Tinubu performed well? In what? In which area? The security. The security, you say that Tinubu have performed well. Go and see what is happening in Kebbi State. As I speak to you now, go and see the massacre that took place in Kebbi State. Go and see what happened in Enugu State. Go to Imo State and see. See, my brother, all over Nigeria, there's nothing like Tinubu have not performed any dime in terms of security. He has not performed. They have not even taken any step. I quote you.
So what you are saying in a nutshell is that there is going to be sit at home.
Not there is going to be. When you are using the word there is going to be, it's understatement. There is already sit at home. People are already sitting in their houses.
Of course, if I may ask, this is what they will call civil disobedience against government. Even Fabio, the Senate president, the other time made it very clear that the way it is, that Samanepa is the lead governor of Southeastern Nigeria.
Yes.
Because that Samanepa will say, don't go out, and people will stay back.
Yes.
So where did the governors lose it that people do not obey them?
The governors lose it in this form. The day they accepted the Fulanis as their colonial master, that very day they lose it. The day the governors have failed to secure the people and the property of the people, that day the governors lose it. The very day the governors will begin to obey and begin to sponsor Fulanis in Igbo land is the day they lose it. The very day they begin to tell federal government, bring army, bring military to Igbo land and to kill the Igbos is the day they lose it. The very day they start to, to take vote that is not given to them, to turn the table upside down, giving us a choice that is not ours. The people we did not vote for are the people ruling us. That is the very day they lose it. So, having said all this, that is why these people are not speaking for us. They are speaking for themselves. That is why they lose it.
But is there any hope in sight for the governors to take control and take charge and people will start obeying them again?
That is left for them. Because as it stands now, their languages is no longer valid. You can see what Opposodema has finally come out and said. But the same person accused IPOB of being what? A terrorist. The same person have been accusing IPOB in any killing, anything that happens in the Imo State, he will target the IPOB, Biafrans. But today, look at him coming out to confess that it is not the IPOB that are responsible. Then who are the responsible? He failed to mention the people that are responsible.
He said perhaps opposition political parties.
Opposition political parties. Who are the opposition political parties?
They are importing people from other states.
They import people. And for that reason, they are not from that state. That's what makes you, as an incumbent governor, to treat them like trash. You understand? Treat them anyhow because they are not the citizen. So why should I come to your own place, to cause insecurity, to come and cause to have us for you, and you kept quiet?
Okay, now briefly, let's not talk about the station in Enugu State, the station where there is a native doctor who goes by the name of Ibedu Show. And he was reported to have kidnapped, or rather his boys kidnapped a young girl. That upon inquiry, the youth discovered that his compound had been haven for killing. Discoveries were more mind-boggling. People dumped in Sokaway, and the man in question was on his way out of the country, but he was intercepted at the Badagry border in Lagos here on top of a motorcycle in an attempt to flee the country. Where are we going? In Anambra, we are seeing a similar situation, though recovery have not been made concerning Akwachi Wadake, who has been in government custody and 2 other native doctors in that.
They appear in court. I thought it was yesterday.
What is happening in the eastern part of the country? Native doctors are turning out to be ritualists.
Yes, that was what they have been since. And this government are the one empowering them to be sincere. Because they are the one visiting them, pumping our money in their own purse to give them power so that or they shoot, when you shoot it will not enter. So that they will have the opportunity to be carrying out their evil activities in the state and in the country. All these politicians are the one, empowering them, encouraging them to do all this nonsense. That is why you see them, turning into something else. Many of them, you can see it. The other day I was preaching and made it clearly. Many of them have started, wearing suit. Before when you talk of native doctor, you go to the bush. A native doctor doesn't sleep in a house. A native doctor doesn't rent a hotel. A native doctor doesn't build a good home. Do you understand me? But today, you see native doctor wearing tie, standing in the pulpit.
Is it a crime for a native doctor to wear suit and maybe live in luxury house?
My brother.
No, I ask, is it a crime?
It is not a crime, but it is not part of their calling and their nature.
Okay, their nature is dirtiness.
Of course, you can see they are doing a dirty job. They are doing dirty things. And you can see it by their fruit, you shall know them. You can see the evidence now. And that evidence has been something that has been happening since it's not today. But they are just coming in disguise. Wearing, putting on clothes that is not given to them or meant for them. You understand? In disguise. So that was why what happened. You understand? That man is a pure native doctor. But let me tell you, every day is for the thief. One day is for the owner.
Okay, but
that young lady, you see that young lady? The young lady, I read the article of that article. I discovered that that young lady in their family, such a thing doesn't happen. Such a thing doesn't take place in their, in their family. And you can see the young lady is, still a virgin, innocent girl with a chaplet. That innocency and the faith and belief in God still remain there. So the power of darkness cannot prevail the power of light that was shining upon that girl. That was why they could not succeed, to achieve their goal over that girl. And that was what exposed them. You understand? So having said all this, you will agree with me that God remains the ultimate.
I'm also very thankful for time. Let me have the law. Because I'm trying to get the consent, or rather the opinion of Nigerians, particularly those from the eastern part of the country, a situation where native doctors are turning out to be ritualists. We have seen the one in Enugu that goes by the name of the show, who his house was discovered to be a heaven of kidnapping and ritual killing. He was trying to run away from the country. In Badagry, border, was intercepted by immigration. He will soon be handed over to police for investigation and prosecution. But let me get with you, Mr. Lawrence. What is happening? The native doctors are turned out to be ritualists.
Okay. No, that's the reason why most of you will not blame governor of Anambra State to arrest some native doctor. No, I used to say that native doctor is not a taboo. But how do you handle your own shrine?
Okay, native doctor is not a taboo.
It's not a taboo. But how do you handle your shrine? It be like somebody that open church. How do you handle your congregation?
Well, that's where the problem is.
That's where the problem is. God creates many leaf, tree, for what? For our heads.
But the man who is already killing, don't put people.
I'm coming. I'm going to the same place.
He's no longer doing herbs.
I'm going to the same place. The reason I go there because you call it a native doctor. But it's too sincere now. If you look at that man now, it's not a native doctor. It's a what?
A ritualist.
It's money.
Or a suspected ritualist.
It's not suspected ritualist. It's a ritualist. Reality. When can someone come to your backyard or anywhere and see a skull of human being or a part of a human being? What are you using the part of human being to? Human being, is it a meat? It's not a meat. Those the people that federal government of Nigeria or the government of Lagos, Nigeria supposed to monitor so much. You see, when they start this native doctor issue, since Soludo enters the governor of Anambra State, you can go and check it very well.
But this of Akwati Warake,
I'm going.
He have not been indicted and they have not seen any evidence against him.
Listen, when Solu don enter there, that's when native doctor having many issues, because Solu don't know that those people, majority of them is fake. They are using the image of some native doctors. They are use root and leaf to help people.
So meaning they are genuine native doctors.
Yes, Oga, I told you that my uncle that brought me up is a native doctor.
Meaning by extension you are a native doctor.
I'm not a native doctor. I know the
But you are the son
roots.
of a native doctor.
I'm the son of uncle
Of a native doctor.
a native doctor. Are you getting me? And when many years I stay with my uncle, I didn't see anything evil. They mind it. Even though if you bring like a chicken or a goat to you to thank the man, after everything, you know what the man will do? The man will not carry those chicken and give their children or give worse. He said that some sacrifice or something that on top of that animal will not affect the children. Are you getting me? Talkless that animal use another thing, human being blood to do some sacrifice. No. But the worst one, this one we are seeing, this our generation. Akwakoti started it. I told you when I'm in the Ghana, the day I hear about the name of that guy, that is the day I cancel that guy. Because I know it's fake.
Okay, you already know it's fake before.
I know. Go to Ghana.
But this is your brother we're talking about.
Yeah, he's my brother. Can I say because he's my brother, I will not say the truth. Are you getting me? You see many people that use native doctors to cover themselves, that they are doing evil. They are killing. Even though to me, for that man Enugu said, no need to judge. What you do, Bible say that, so when you use knife kill, they will use knife do what? Kill you. If you use gun kill.
So that was law of Moses.
Okay, that law is more important. That's what's killing us for this our generation, and mostly in Nigeria. We say law of Moses. What is law of Moses? The law of Moses is the law of God. That's the law people can hear and fear.
And eye for an eye.
Yes, if you slap me, I give you 2.
But Jesus Christ said not be so.
Listen, that's what they use to deceive us now.
So Jesus Christ cannot.
Why Jesus Christ went to the tabernacle? When they see they use the house of God to do business, why Jesus Christ throw everything out?
Because according to the word of God, the seal of the Father house are putting it up.
For you to worship God, you must worship God for your spirit. You yourself is the house of God. You must be neat to serve God. Are you getting? Native doctor in the southeast, in the Nigeria, majority of them doing evil. They are doing evil. When you get them immediately, judge them immediately, it's government. If you want to put them 100 years in prison, put them there, because do you know how many people life that are wasted? This man in Enugu State tonight, do you know how many people life in waste? And some people, look at this our generation now, come to Lagos or anywhere, you see Yahoo boys. What they are using to do Yahoo, they use woman blood. You see many women now, many girls outside, they cannot marry. Even the one who are married to born is another problem.
I think this is a good place to let it go. I must say very thank you for your time. We hope to have you next time. This is Satellite Media and I'm Mr. Matthew. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence.